Come on and put your hands together. Come on, seriously. Are you not concerned about the good life? Yeah, I'm very concerned about the good life and the good vibes. Because my brethren is my brethren, and my sister is my sister. Everyone wants to make it. And if it's one crackers, as the song says, please remember, let us break it. And let's share it. Political leader who is on his way, Jack Austin Warner, chairman sitting at the head table, Mrs. Rika Ramjit, deputy political leader Ramjit Singh and men, as well as members of the executive coordinators, all the men, and the good folks from Fyzabad. Good evening. Am I talking to everybody? Good evening.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, 2 construction workers. 2. I don't know if they're working with SIS. I don't know who they're working with. But 2 construction workers. At the project on lunchtime, one construction worker opened his lunchbox and said, I hate bologna sandwiches. I can't stand bologna sandwiches. Day 1, day 2. Open his lunchbox next to his friend again and says, I hate bologna sandwiches. I can't stand it. And bologna is a kind of sausage, right? Day 3, I hate bologna sandwiches. So his friend couldn't take it and said, tell your wife to fix another sandwich, another type of sandwich, aloo or something. He said, no, I made these sandwiches myself. Moral. Most of the bologna, the junk, the trash that is taking place in Fyzabad and in Trinidad and Tobago this evening, we put it there ourselves. And if we place it there, we have an obligation, Fyzabad, to correct it and to fix it. 5 years ago, 5 short years ago, at the popular Charlie King Junction, dirty hands, treacherous minds, joined together and created the biggest conspiracy in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. 5 years ago, just up the road, the stage was set with actors better than that of Bollywood and Hollywood. The stage was set at Charlie King Junction, a revered place, a place where the plan would go down. The sinister scheme to simply hold power away from Patrick Manning and the PNM. Simply. Nothing more. No good governance. No real heart for Trinidad and Tobago, and I'll tell you why. The COP Aswood Jack, COP Winston Buchanan, NJAC McCandle Dagger, and MSJ Errol McLeod came together for a reenactment of June 19, 1937. The attempt was to invoke citizens' conscience to place an absolute revolt against the Manning regime. And they did. And rightly so, because all of the citizens, at least most of them, most of us believe that the Manning regime needed to be changed. The PP, People's Partnership, 5 political parties, all signatories to a document. They affirmed their commitment by signing a 2-page document titled the People's Partnership. The Partnership for Sustainable Good Governance for Trinidad and Tobago. It was a declaration of the core principles and values of the PP, but all fell down. And I'll tell you why. I want to highlight two major principles from this document that Ella MacLeod was a signatory to. Ashwood Jack, signatory. Winston Dukaran, signatory. Kamala Prasad Defector, signatory. Who am I missing? Ashwood Jack. Makandal Daga, signatory. Let me tell you what they said in this principled document that was supposed to guide their decision making. Principle number 5, build a diverse democratic society that respects human rights, in which all people live in dignity and security, free from all forms of discrimination on the basis of religion, color, gender, where labor is respected. Well, hypocrisy at its height. Upon entering government, Ashwood Jack suddenly was planting pumpkin and cucumber, built a huge mansion in Tobago in record time. Had one of the biggest restaurants as well in Tobago. Out of pumpkin and cucumber. But he served steak. And let me tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, at that time, pumpkin was 20 cents a pound. 20 cents. But we're talking about discrimination. Sign a document that says this nation is going to be free from discrimination. Ashwood Jack, one of the signatories to this document, Fyzabad, built his spread in record time. More and more among the view, more and more Fyzabad among the view that this issue of governance has really to do with the treasury for most, not the ILP. We love people.
Yeah.
We sincerely do. We sincerely do. And Jack Warner has a track record of loving people throughout this state, throughout this nation. Anywhere you can go, you will hear somebody saying, Jack Warner helped me. Individually, Jack Warner did it. So, signatory number 1, Ashwood Jack, a big boy, back of an eye, Makanda Dada, a man who fought for justice and equality. Makanda Dada got up one day and said he has never seen so much corruption in his life in the People's Partnership. Week after in governance, you know what they did last week with Makanda Dada? They silenced him, sent him away, and today Makanda Dada is silent like a mouse. He has a little CPAP contract and he's enjoying himself. Yes. A few. Signatory to this document, this principled document. 2 more minutes, I have to go. Let me tell you, men's hospital in here. Go ahead.
You talk, boy.
Talk. My chairman tell me talk, man. My chairman told me talk. Let's talk about Winston Dukaran, another signatory to this document. A man who I adored. A man who talked about new politics. A man who talked about walking in the rain and not getting wet. Winston Dukaran stood stood against a particular bill that was brought to Parliament, a constitution amendment bill that Reka Ramjit, one little lady, heart of a lion, decided to fight the government tooth and nail about. Winston Buchanan spoke against this particular bill in Parliament and simply cower away back into the People's Partnership, into the fold of the People's Partnership, understanding that the very policies of the People's Partnership are failed ones and egocentric, self-centered and self-serving. I was Winston, and Errol Django McCloud. Union man for years, respected and even revered by some. Respected and revered, not only by some but by many. Errol McCloud, Trinidad and Tobago and Fyzabad, has become a pussycat. An absolute pussycat. There is no more volume when he speaks. There is something very luring and borders almost on the hypnotic. When there's blue lights, when you act as Prime Minister, when your laugh changes from a nice, candlelit, typical Trinidad and Tobago laugh to get big in record time. Errol Django McCloud left the people in Pointe-à-Pied during the recent spill. For weeks they didn't see him. And in anguish, the people in Pointe-à-Pied complained and cried out because of illness due to the inhalation of this fume from the spill. Errol McCloud was absent. And I understand why. Because everybody is doing well now. Except you. Fyzabad. Except you, Fyzabad. They eat fish eggs. I mean caviar. They're the big boys now. Look at you. Look at me. Huh? The majority of Trinbagonians are wallowing in squalor. And I want to suggest to you, Fyzabad, that Chandra Sharma, the longest serving MP, one of them that is, Chandra Sharma was caught up in a fiasco at Grand Bazaar that you should not forget. Chandra Sharma smacked a lady of 120 pounds or less against a car. She suffered a hematoma, which is a swelling in the head. Reported it at St. Joseph Police Station. Went to Mount Hope Medical Sciences Complex and was treated. And because of our legal system today, Chandra Sharma walked. And you see him in the temples and a particular friend taking RT. You know?
Tell him keep on walking.
Tell him keep on walking, man. Keep on walking. He's cleaning up himself and his image in an attempt to come back to you, the people of Fyzabad. But the truth is, that is not the way a representative behaves. It's not the way. And then there's Kamla Prasad Bissessa, final signatory to this document. Kamla Prasad Bissessa said that she saw Bygone as a child and she grew up, went to law school and went through hell and now she is, Miss Big Stuff. And I heard that she's in hospital right now. She visited the hospital. I hope everything is okay, sincerely. But there was some condition, I think, that pushed that ushered her to the hospital. But something happened. Yeah, there's no more father roti and Biden choke and tomato choke from these guys. They're big now. Suddenly, after 2010, when she ascended to the throne, Kamala Prasad descended as an accent. She was an accent. Suddenly, she was no longer the diminutive, small, sweet figure from the south. Oh, she got a UK accent instantly. And the action really is to remove you, the ground, from her. She placed distance between you and her. And I respect all leaders in this country. But I cannot respect a person who said 5 years ago that they struggled to build their home. But in record time, built a huge beachfront property. Beachfront. With arrows pointing to in the streets, well paved and plush environment. What is the difference? What really is the difference between Kamala Prasad Bissessa and leaders across this world who oppress their people while they themselves live in luxury? What's the difference? What's the difference? So she said, they're going to build this democratic society and respect human rights, in which all people will live in dignity and security, free from all forms of discrimination. Really? Really? Free from all forms of discrimination? Really? There is one company, SIS, who provides services for just about every ministry in Trinidad and Tobago. Every construction sector, they are there.
$3 billion.
$3 billion from bankruptcy to billionaire in record time, shaped and fashioned by this government. They shaped them and made them billionaires. How fair is that? How fair? Man, they providing security and all. They secure the Attorney General's office and they secure the DPP's office. Do you understand why questions were raised about bugging of the DPP's office? Do you understand? Huh? And that is the condition that we live in. Free from discrimination on all bases of religion, color, gender. Really? 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 Akmal Hutch. Akmal Hutch. Prakash Ramada, the former Attorney General, Ananam Logan, Dr. Merle Hutch, a woman who is well acclaimed, a lecturer at the University of the West Indies. She was demeaned by Ananam Logan. Gender discrimination, Akmal well. This lady who resigned this morning abruptly, Madam, what's her name? Lal
Chan. And Bento.
Wait. It's only a matter of time before they come out against them and blame them. So they said, well, labor would be okay. So URP and CPAP workers would not have to go to Tunapuna on Saturday. Yeah? Not at all. Right now, who do not attend this extravaganza on Saturday, their jobs are being threatened. I never thought that I would live to see the day when a female prime minister, well, a woman like Kamala Prasad Bissessa can become so cold. URP and CPAP workers are the poorest, guys. They're the poorest. And they have been sentenced on the 24th to Tunapuna. Sentenced. Makoya, thank you. Principle number 6, and I'm going to take my seat because mentally you're not alone, I know I must go. In this document, any form of corruption, they will root out and deal with it. And that they were not going to politicize the civil service or state enterprises. Let me tell you something, Fyzabad. This country is very, very small, 1.3 million. And soon enough, East must meet West. And North and South must converge. And if for some reason or the other, a government decides to discriminate against people in a particular region, in that particular region, it's just a matter of time before they infiltrate another region. Just 1.3 million. So why not be fair? Why not be honest? What do these people really sign for? What did the four really sign to Fyzabad? From where I sit, I'll be very frank, it appears to me that they signed a document that validifies, that makes valid corruption. That's what I've seen. That's what Trinidad and Tobago has seen. Ask Anil Roberts. Ask Anil.
Ask Anil.
Ask Anil. The Prime Minister saw a video. She saw a video with Anil Roberts, with a person who looked like, what can I say? I'm going to get in trouble. With someone who looked like Anil Roberts. And he was taking a drag or something. And the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago said, "Yeah, it's not so." When Delmon Baker went to the Prime Minister to tender his resignation because he would have acted inappropriately according to the victim, she said, "He who alleged must prove. Don't worry. Let him prove the issue. Let him prove the situation." Light stuff. Tell you something, Fyzabad. I'm going to take my seat. But the four are still standing. You know why? Because the document that they signed meant nothing to them. What mattered most to them was the treasury. And boy, they have it. And they are wreaking havoc. I feel sorry for Trinidad and Tobago. I feel sorry that I was part of this process like Mr. Warner. Because if it's wrong, it is wrong. What is wrong in the PNM cannot be right in the People's Partnership. Wrong is wrong. And the only party that is willing to remedy the wrong of Trinidad and Tobago is the Independent Liberal Party.
Political leader, Austin Jack Warner, who's on his way, other members of the head table, very first, and Fyzo, good evening.
Good evening.
Now here what my problem is. Last time my problem was to take most of my time to talk about a lot of things. Tonight here what my problem is. I sit down here waiting patiently and I don't know what to talk about because this young man here, he talk about what I want to talk about. This gentleman here, he talk what I want to talk about. Don't talk about Dave. These 2 pages here was the 5th and 6th element of the Fyzabad report. What I wanted to tell earlier, and Dave started talking about it. But I have something to tell earlier. In a real way. That 80 years ago, in 1935, Uriah Buzz Butler led a hunger march from the oil fields of Fyzabad to Port of Spain. Why? Because, and that was 80 years ago. Because although oil companies were very profitable in Fyzabad, the workers were starving. The workers were starving. Then, so, that is what he did. He struggled. And the struggle started in Fyzabad. And ladies and gentlemen, tonight we will change this government starting in Fyzabad. That is very happy that the struggle started right here and is going to continue in 2015 from right here. On June 19, 1937, he addressed a meeting right here at Charlie King Junction in protest of working conditions, wages, racism, and exploitation of the working class. On that day, one corporal, Charlie King, came to Fyzabad and said to his cohorts, his partners, I, Charlie King, will take that man to Port of Spain in handcuffs if it is the last thing I do. Well, he never gets to do that last thing he wanted to do. You all know what happened to him. It ended right here in Fyzabad because the people decided we're not taking that. Fyzabad, we're not taking that. Now 75 years later, in 2010, Fyzabad Accord. You see how Fyzabad is critical to the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Read your history books and understand how Fyzabad came into being. In the 1800s, when the missionaries from Canada came to convert the people of Trinidad and Tobago to Christianity, they converted Hindus mostly and some Muslims. And then there were some who weren't converted, and to make sure that their converted were not contaminated, they moved them to Fyzabad. It was called Fyzabad because it was the name of a place in India. But it was a small community, about 100 to 200 people, and then they discovered oil. And that changed everything. Fyzabad became one of the most profitable places in Trinidad and Tobago. So understand the history. This is where it started, and this is where we're going to make the changes. So 75 years later, in 2010, you had the Fyzabad Accord, and it was signed by 5 parties, as being said. Today, who do we have from that 5 parties? Well, Mr. Vincent Buchanan, not yet. You have Mr. Prakash Ramadan, look how we changed it. And this morning, I was so embarrassed for a colleague of mine who is an attorney at law. Hear how this man answered it. I would love to catch him under cross-examination. Seriously. Hema Ramkisung asked him about how they fight in 41 constituency. He said, yes, we are. He said also, the 6 that we have, we keep in there. Right? So Hema said, okay. She said, but he said, look, we're really going after the best candidate. So Hema said to him, so is the UNC candidate better than the COP candidate? He said, well, there's always negotiation. So he just said, we keep in the 6, and he said, there's always negotiation. The man flip-flopping all over the place like a fish out of water. That's who you have now in the Fyzabad Accord. Well, they changed Mr. Enja. Yeah. Right? The one who they are now, I don't even know his name. He's that significant. He has about 16 followers. Well, Mr. Ashworth Jack, he don't have a party anymore. They changed the Tobago forward, so it has no shop. But the best was on the newspaper today. I saw Aaron McLeod. He used to be MSJ. Now on the papers, look at the ad today. You're the leader of the COP, political leader of NJAC, political leader of CHOP, political leader of UNC, and under his name they have member of parliament. For point of it, because he has nothing. But they still had to put his picture there, but you know what was the most embarrassing thing? I did a little bit of research today. When they kicked his tail out of the MSJ, you know what he said? He said that we must now focus on yellow. You know, blue is their party, is MSJ party color. We must focus on yellow because blue represents poison in the body. He said that was the party that put him there. He said that was the party that get him into government. But blue represents poison. That is what this man saying.
Mahani Makaram.
Exactly. Thank you very much, sir. So that is how who you're dealing with and I'll come to the Prime Minister a little later on. Political leader of the UNC. I don't think there's any partnership anymore. But then I wanted to bring your attention to the principles involved. And then talk about the 5th principle, so I will repeat it so you believe you know that I really had it right down here. Then I'm not coming after you again. It says the 5th principle of the accord was to build a diverse and different society that respects human rights in which all people live in dignity and security, free from all forms of discrimination on the basis of religion, color, or gender, where labor is respected. Then, or you realize something about that principle, that fifth principle, it says nothing about racial discrimination. Did you all realize that they talk about dealing with discrimination of religion, color, gender, where labor is respected, but they didn't use the word race? And the reason I'm telling you this tonight is because listen carefully to the campaigns that will be coming at you, and at the end of the day they will say, vote for your people. And you have to understand what that means. But the sixth principle is the one I want to deal with tonight. It says that they will not tolerate any form of corruption and should not politicize the Civil Service Commission or state enterprises. And I again dealt very nicely with corruption. So listen it. But I want to deal tonight with should not politicize the Civil Service Commission or state enterprises. And people, Fyzabad, the most recent scandal, because every day is a new scandal, involves the Integrity Commission. It involves the Integrity Commission. And I want to tell you that today, the resignation of two members of the commission must speak volumes about what is happening. Were they that dissatisfied? As a matter of fact, I understand that former Justice Bento said that there were things that were not quite accurate in the report. Yes? That is what he said, and that is probably his basis for resigning. But when you have two persons of an Integrity Commission resigning because the report that was handed out did not represent the views of all the members of the commission, then you have to reconsider what it is happening in that commission. But I want to read something. You see, this Integrity Commission has a very specific purpose. The Act says that they will establish the Integrity Commission to make new provisions for the prevention of corruption of persons in public life by providing for public disclosures. And this is the part I want you to listen to regulate the conduct of persons exercising public functions to preserve and promote the integrity of public officials and institutions for matters incidental thereto. So the purpose of the Integrity Commission is to preserve, is to regulate the conduct of persons in public life. Regulate the conduct of persons in public life. It is not to make a finding of a criminal offense. That is the purview of the DPP. And essentially, when the Prime Minister says that the Integrity Commission has cleared her, it's cleared her of what? There was no charge, no criminal charge laid against her. Cleared her of what? Or they were supposed to run. Interestingly, the Integrity Commission said that in a newspaper report, I think in the Newsday, it says that when the commission received the email, what they did was send it to the DPP and send it to the police service for investigation. Oh, you see, I listened to Mr. Larry Lala this morning. I want to tell you about perceived bias or real bias. Mr. Larry Lala this morning went on TV. Larry Lala, an attorney at law, who was a former judge. That's how high he reached up in the judiciary. And you have to ask yourself and tell yourself, we need our Privy Council. No, don't let nobody tell you we don't need our Privy Council, because listen to what I'm saying. Larry Lala this morning, when he went on, because he said, but you going up for UNC seat, not so? He said, yes, I collected my form. That's always a sham, but he collected his form. So you really represented the UNC view, not so? He says, yes. It is in open knowledge. I was a temporary senator. I am for the UNC. And then he comes and sits down there and tries to tell this country that he is being objective when he talked about the ruling of the Integrity Commission. Let me repeat that. He comes there and he says, I support the UNC. I want to work for a seat. I want a temporary senator. But when I talk, believe me when I say that I'm really independent. And I'm not going to, that the Prime Minister, what she said is correct. And I'm independent. That is bias. And if anybody should know that that is bias, he should. And that is who you have representing the United National Congress. So, people, when you hear the Prime Minister say to you, there will be no other Prime Minister who will love you like I love you, ask yourself again what she's talking about. She says that to you, and then you have to deal with all of these lies that are coming at you rather. I want to deal with something tonight that is important to all the areas in Trinidad and Tobago like Fyzabad. And that is what the Prime Minister said in Diego Martin. What she said, I'm not even going on the road and the wedding house. Because after she went up and made this big speech about how everybody who owned their house, who rented their house for about 30 years, they're going to get $100. She was really talking. Trinidad has 1 point how many people? 3 million people. And she really was talking about less than 1,400 people. But she didn't say that on the night on the platform to say, really only less than 1,400 people could benefit for that. And she wants to believe that she's giving you this big handout. But more importantly, she said, between Coronage and Toco, I will give the landless 30,000 lots of land. Between Coronage to Toco, 30,000 lots of land. And people listen to what has been happening in that scenario. In 1998, 28th of October 1998, the Act was passed. The purpose of the Act was to ensure that the landless get land. How it was supposed to happen, but it's never going to happen under this UNC government. And I want to say, time you have to get that deed of lease, you have to pay what is called a premium, an annual reserve rent, you have to pay for the cadastral survey, and you have to pay for the stamp duties, etc. I'm not telling you this all the stuff on my head, it is written in the law. It is called the State Land Security of Tenure Act. It was assented to in this country on the 20th of October 1998, and she cannot do anything, Mr. Simonga cannot do anything but follow the law. So when she gets up on the stage, she gets her back and tell the people, and I'm not saying Chagaram, I said because that's a lie, from Coronage to Toco, that she given you 30,000. I believe the next day Simonga said was 60,000, right? It can't happen. So when she comes to you cap in hand, begging for that, you tell her no way, it is not hers to give. And that's the other thing, that is state land. She can't give you that, that is yours. That belongs to Trinidad and Tobago. She has nothing to give you. If she wants to give Fyzabad, if she wants to give Trinidad and Tobago, let her give you jobs. Let her provide you with jobs. The workers' struggle started in Fyzabad, and the struggle is continuing in Fyzabad. Uriah Butler marched in 1935 from here to Port of Spain for workers' rights. Do not let her give you CPEP and European jobs and tell you that is your right. The oil belt is in South. This is where the richest part of Trinidad and Tobago is right now, was and still is. Do not accept handouts from the state. You are entitled to much more. You are entitled to this land. You are entitled to share in the wealth of this land. And you can only do that by ensuring that this present government is removed come election 2015. And before I go, because I know you are anxious to hear my political leader and your political leader, I have to remind you that change started in Fyzabad and change ought to continue in Fyzabad, and you should propel that change. And I'll tell you why. For years, we have in this country seesaw politics. Let me tell you what I mean by seesaw politics. 5 years, you have the, well, let me take this 5 years. You have the UNC up here and the PNM down here. And when they behave badly and you can't stand the corruption and the crime no more, you press that one down and this one come up. And then the next 5 years you press this one down and the next one come up. And nobody being brought to justice. Where is Paul the Hart? Where is Andy Robert? That must done. We have to done with this seesaw politics. And that is why Prime Minister with her cabinet did not wanted to pass the Constitution Amendment Bill because you want to get rid of the Arab people. That ain't happening. Because I've said before, I've said it on more than one occasion, I'm telling you tonight, Fyzabad. Prakash Ramadan said he's going to debate the Balan Party before election. And Rekha Ramadan said, bring it on, Prakash.
Bring it on.
Ladies and gentlemen, good night.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Very, very much for this warm welcome. And for you who are here tonight in our 21st Cottage meeting so far, and we aim to have 100 before Cabinet take the date from our first. So I would say that the aim is 100. And after that date has come out, our national meetings shall begin. We shall of course have our meetings and our constituency, have our public meetings and so on. But I want to thank you, my dear lady, for coming here tonight. When I see that wheelchair, I said this is what they call a person who believes in an organization. At 8:45 tonight, you here in your wheelchair and I'm told you're here first. I want to have more people like you if I had more wheelchairs. But the time, honestly, thank you very, very much for being here. I want to say also to you tonight, that tune Mayday is so apparent and so apt and so well known. Because this afternoon when I heard that Kamala has been hospitalized, yes, she went to a clinic and then of course she sent her home because her pressure is low and she is suffering from exertion. I want to wish her well. And though the song said pressure really low and so on, that song was made before pressure reached this place where it was made. On behalf of the party, I want to wish her well and a speedy recovery, particularly because they have spent over $2 million in fixtures at the Constantine Park. One contractor paid that, and they have to spend another $1 million for the fest and festival and so on. Another contractor will pay that, and to spend another $1 million for the party itself, for the drinks. But this is a party that has no financing. This is a party that has no money. This is a party that has to have a raffle, $10 ticket to raise funds and so on. And as Dominic said on a program, if you could lie for small things, nobody will even ask you where you get money from. You volunteer, and if you could lie for small things, God knows we are for big things. And we are where we are because the Prime Minister and the Cabal and the Cabinet have been lying to us on big things. I don't want to attack her tonight, she's done. But if you trace Kamala's demise, Kamala's downfall began the very afternoon I left for government. Check and see. I left for government on April 22nd, 2013. It doesn't say that I am any Savati, but the fact is I was there to guide Kamala, to hold her hand and to tell her genuinely how to walk and how to avoid pitfalls, because I never wanted anything from Kamala or the government. Unlike the others came and they believed that the of course world will end tomorrow and that they have to grab everything and anything in sight. And that is why we are where we are. And that is why we began to see mistakes being made by Kamala one after the other. And the biggest mistake of all is the one Kamala made yesterday in the Parliament. When she came to the Parliament and read to the Parliament a letter from the Deputy Commission, which she says came from them. She read another big hullabaloo. A 7-page document was read. Everything in that letter, my friends, all the preparations, all the inclinations and so on, everything smacks of the work of one man. One man. He is no longer in cabinet, he is no longer in government, but he stays behind the scene. He plots and plans and so on, and he's the one who believes and he can strategize. And he, as well as several others, you should hear about just now, I have caused Kamala's downfall. To the point where I tell you tonight, she will never recover. We shall well in her health, but I know we shall well in her politics, because the fact is this country can't take much more. And when I saw yesterday that Dr. Sherry Latin resigned from the Intelligence Commission the very same day of the release, I thought a coincidence. And then when I saw that the letter was sent to Israel Khan, Kamala's lawyer, I see another coincidence. And when I saw the same Israel Khan, who is Kamala's lawyer, was in his chambers where Zainab Hussein worked for years. Last, before he came to the chairman of the Intelligence Commission, I said, what another coincidence. And when I saw Israel Khan is one of the best friends of Alan Ramazan, I said, more coincidence. So therefore, I said, it's a bonus last night. It was no surprise to me that today Sebastian Center did the correct thing. And if anybody in that commission, by the chairman, have any guts or respect or integrity to remain, they will all resign. They will all resign. Because the fact is, as Sebastian Venture said, they only saw 2 emails. How the hell you make a judgment on 2 emails? That letter was drafted by somebody else, sent for them to sign, you believe. And today this country is a country of shame. A country of shame. And I sat in the Parliament and I listened to the Prime Minister. And she even put the names of the commissioners on the State Commission. And she showed their picture and so on. And today, if I were a member of that commission, I'll put my head in a flower bag. It is shameful. It is shameful to know that even the deputy chairman saw the letter at the same time like you and me in public. He saw the same time like you and me in public. And those are the 5 people Kamona appointed. Well, I'll leave Kamona for another time. Because we talk about him in 2 days. Those are the people he appointed. And tonight, therefore, I decided that our press officer would make a release tonight. Which I read for you? No. Because this thing can't continue. We may make another one tomorrow afternoon. Right? Depending on how things unfold. So we hold it back. You wear the heavy one until tomorrow afternoon. What are we saying tonight? I read for you. I read for you. And you shall of course hear what we are saying as a party. The IFP has cautioned national community against rushing to make judgments in the email gate matter. 1 week ago, it was clear to us in the IFP that the government had used its majority in the Parliament to wrongfully suspend the Member of Parliament for the Martin West, Dr. Keith Rowley, without adhering to proper parliamentary procedure. My dear friends, our position tonight remains the same. This matter must be completely and thoroughly investigated. Unfortunately, the Prime Minister, by behaving in this wanton and immature fashion that she has behaved, that she has done, has not compromised this investigation. The Prime Minister, by her behavior, both in the Parliament and outside, has compromised this investigation. We call on the B-Mills at the RP, of course, call the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to do 2 things. To do 2 things immediately. First, to caution all persons to refrain from further comment on this matter. And secondly, and unfortunately, to launch an investigation into whether the Prime Minister and others all those who stormed the death yesterday, for example, to run an investigation into whether the Prime Minister and others have conspired to provoke the cause of public justice in this matter. Those are the two things we are asking police to do now. And then it begins this investigation. My friends, you have to understand what we are now. We are the U.S. enemy number one. What we have done, we have failed them. What we have done, we have taken secret documents and made public on platforms and so on. And therefore we have done that all in an attempt to provoke the cause of justice. I tell you again, all this mark of the behavior of one man, the same man who tell us to appoint racially and right in the SIA. All over. And this Kamala was to do some introspection. She'll understand that today your biggest enemies are all around her. Not you and me. By us telling her to leave office, we have friends. We have friends. We, of course, are giving her a long life. Those who are wrong from Munira go back, I tell you. And if she don't listen, it's still breaking her head, she'll pay a price for that. At the end of the day, no one would have thought that Kamala of 2010 is the Kamala of 2015. I wish to God I would have turned this clock hand back and let Prime Minister Kamala Potani become candidate to start the center. When she came to you and me and all of us with glowing tributes and promises that she will do all these great things, and that of course Manning was the devil incarnate and she will be a saint. Today, quote me reverse. Manning is a saint. I mean the rest is judgment. That's what we are today. I was part of that. I came in Fyzabad and I begged Fyzabad to go with us because Fyzabad at that time said no Chandra Sharma. I'll come to himself now. The name of Chandra Sharma, we came here and said, listen, give us a chance. We said Manning was bad and we spent time and time again to criticize Calder. Today, Kamala has 26 Calder. And every one of them made Manning Calder look like an angel. And all of this Kamala MC, she ain't here. She never here. I said it so publicly tonight here. I said here in Fyzabad tonight. David Abdullah and I went to Kamala and told Kamala about corruption in the government. It was in 2012. Kamala said then she couldn't do anything about it. And to this day, she has done nothing about it except to make it worse. Today she's sick. Ask yourself, God forbid, that's the most she can leader of the PB. Who will lead her? Chandra Sharma? Debat Farage? Monilal. Let me tell you something. Because of that fear, all of you, including me, let us pray for Kamala to recover. Pray to recover. Because there's nobody else. They don't even understand that they're killing the lady. To open a toilet, they're calling Kamala to go to the river. To open a school, they're calling Kamala. To open a standby, it's Kamala. To do this is Kamala, to do that is Kamala. Nowhere else, everything is Kamala. Because why? Nobody else in the party has any value. Take you up the line in David. Tamil Kamala put on box drains in Opus West. That's the real. They have British stage fellow, they are bereft of ideas. And they are asking you to go for them again. You are seeing today for the first time a government that is overstayed its goodwill. No time in the history of this country has any government gone beyond its normal term of office 5 years. Never before. But now, Kamala is doing that. You know why? There are more projects to give out. There are more contracts to sign. Right? And I said today, on 91.9, I say again here, that this ILP, when we are in government, we shall void every contract that Kamala signed for the last 6 months. Let them go ahead. Let them go ahead. And let them, of course, sign contracts. Carco, Ramhit, Abud, sign contracts. Every contract that let them sign in the last 6 months, we shall not accept. And that has no political value whatsoever. Where's the partnership? If ever a word has been misused and abused, it's partnership. I just tell you right, don't call me a partner. Call me a doctor, darling husband. But partner is a bad word. Partner is a bad word. And that's Kamla. And just I'm saying tonight in Fyzabad, change begins here. Change begins here. Because here you have the first industrial unrest of some magnitude. And today, at the Fyzabad Accord, they put then the MSJ on that fellow called MacLeod. Everyone in the cloud, MacLeod.
Passing code.
Right? Or you say everyone passing cloud, MacLeod. They put him there. I was there. He came there to represent labor. And he signed the accord for MSJ. When he found that he had no followers, we give him a yellow jersey to put on. So the MSJ man with a yellow jersey going to fight up for the pay for labor. But he forgot and he believed that yellow jersey was permanent. He forgot it's blue, it's his color. And MacLeod has failed the labor movement as nobody else has. Ask the Python, ask Roger and they. Ask Sanders too. Ask them, who could have thought? Who could have thought? Who would have thought that MacLeod, a man who paid for a program, MacLeod speaks. Everyone MacLeod speaks. Have another one. I would listen to him and say, yes, there was a man. So I say, yes, there was a money goose. When I ask him, MacLeod, who are you representing? You say, I represent Kamla. You can be that? So Labour has no voice in government because MacLeod represents Kamla. After 5 years, MacLeod, in the last 5 weeks, bring the first industrial relations bill that men yak. And he brought it and lit him up. Python lit him up. I alone was there. I alone was there in body, but I was covered in spirit. All of them were okay here. In Parliament. And I lit up MacLeod. He had to pull back the bill. A bill he rushed into Parliament in the last 5 days. The blackest history of labor in this country is under MacLeod now. You can't point to one single thing he achieved for labor, and he boasts, but he has done 110 or 50 or 2,000 labor disputes and to everybody. What achievement is that? That is a function. And you couldn't do it until, of course, the government found the money, or the CP or the KSP. What's the big thing? It's called like a minister taking praise for building a box drain. This box drain government of ours takes praise for building a box drain, for building a road. What do you project for? If you're getting $1 a month, take praise. For 5 years, take praise. You know, of course, you see 111 person per week, and everybody living with a smile, take praise. If you give people scholarships by your pocket for children going to school, take praise. You won't take praise when you open a box drain. That's taxpayers' money. You won't take praise when you open a road. Don't put 5 inches of on the highway, a party, cut ribbon. 50 inches again, party, cut ribbon. By the time they reach point 1, all ends wrong. All ends wrong. They were all ends wrong. But it's not wrong before. Right? What's your name? Ask me live. And that's where we are. That's where we friends in that country. I come today in Fyzabad. I ask myself, after that Fyzabad, what do you name Fyza, F-A-I-Z-A, bad, came from India, Uttar Pradesh. Because this city, this country, this town was formed in 1869. 1869. When a boat called the Pune from India came over here with 12, 15 persons. Was from here, right here. I tried to read Bhakan, even attempt to read it. But the boat, what a fellow called Bansi Parata, 2 or 4 Fyzabad. He and his wife, Kakatia, a widow, and they came here. They were working as they came here as gentle immigrants. And in Fyzabad, they bought 2.5 acres of land, go to Belgium State, and 10 acres down here. They worked hard, worked very hard. They became money lenders and so on. They had oil fields in Fyzabad, from Bansi Parata in Fyzabad. And Fyzabad produced some people of stature. They produced, I found out, Billy Ocean. Billy Ocean. It's true, Billy Ocean came from Fyzabad. The British rhythm and blues pop singer, his name was very lovely Charles. But when these guys go away, they call themselves different names. Right? Not Rodney Charles. What? Forgive me. Rodney Charles. Rodney Charles. A man gave me a pop and called it Rodney. I fell back. Rodney Charles. An embarrassment of human being. A disgrace. Rodney Charles, who knows that the government is doing things wrong and he refused to say it's wrong. I worked with him in 2009, 2010. I went to the Baptist school in Maruga, 6 Company Baptist school. They had no carpet and so on in the library. We had them. His sister was the principal there. I was proud of the man. So when I see him, I want to puke. That's the kind of that's where we are. So don't worry, Charles. Anything you name Rodney, you get rid of it. Get rid of it. Yeah. I tell you, this guy, Billy Ocean, I tell you, no, Rodney Charles, sometimes they call himself Joel. How can I defend him? Yes. Yeah, Billy Ocean. Yeah. No, I'll come I know what I say. You also had a famous attorney, Jasmine Adam, from Fyzabad. You had Janet Grace Anthony, the first female commercial pilot in this country. Janet Grace Anthony from Fyzabad. You had Bernie London, the UK darts champion 2005 from Fyzabad. Michael Fisher, a physicist from Fyzabad. You also had Arthur Henderson from Fyzabad. And against all this background, you had Andrew Sharma. The list would have been very good. The list would have been excellent if you didn't have Andrew Sharma. A guy who became a state politics in 1991. And 20 years later, you can't point to anything he has done. His only claim to fame is the only man who has had 4 ministries on that camera last 5 years and did nothing. You can't find any legacy of his. Whether it's transport, local government, you name it, there is nothing you can say that Chandra Sharma ever did. And if after 20 years, well, of course, you can't be your friend in Tanzania. If after 20 years, 24 years, he hasn't done anything. What will he do 25 or 26 or 27? I listened to some complaints about Sharma. I'll tell you a few. A fellow, of course, named Kelly John complained at Sharma, what did you fix right the right place? He said, he Sharma, not doing anything for me. He's busy doing other things, like Sharma. Another one named Dixon, Which bank is in Shamayad? Fyzabad within section in Shamayad. A fellow called Dixon complained about old buildings in Fyzabad. He wants to have a center to hold cultural events. He says that Fyzabad MP, Charlie Sharma, for 20 years did virtually nothing and needs to do much more. And his bank is in Shamayad. A fellow called Ray Scotland said that Sharma wasn't performing. For months he said his roads remain unfit. And the list goes on and on about Sharma. Tell me, what has he done? What are these problems of Fyzabad? The biggest one here is unemployment, of course. Unemployment. What plans do they have for unemployment here? We have a plan for Fyzabad. We have a plan for Fyzabad that allows the young people to have a bright future. Our plan is one which will develop Fyzabad and build back its pristine value, its strength. We also know of the apex oil field, which was there many years ago, but there are some wells there which you could easily go back and try to what do you call it again? What again? Okay, what I'm going to say, check and see that with more oil in. Right? Because you have in Fyzabad, there's not even here a center or place for people to learn any of the other disciplines. Where in Fyzabad can you go and learn to do, whether it's handwork, whether it's of course basketry, where can you go? In which mall can you find people to go and sell from their own produce and so on? Where is the community center that you have that? What you have there? What has he done, friends? What has he done? And when we have our manifesto and see our plans, we'll tell you what we can do. What we can do. Because we are going to need pie in the sky. We are coming with real, serious issues and solutions for your problems. So the first problem is unemployment. First problem is unemployment. The other problem, of course, is crime. And right, crime here is not as bad as anywhere else. Crime is still crime bad. And therefore, that has to be fixed. And we realize to do that, you have to have a collaborative approach. We can assume that they have all the answers for your problems. We have to come to you like now, in various meetings, and get from you your ideas. This government believes that they alone have all the ideas. They believe the former AG is the only man know about how to do things badly. That's what they believe. But just to come to you and talk to you and get from you your views on where we are going and how we are going. Because if not, Fyzabad will be a forgotten village. They're passing by. They don't have a single solution for Fyzabad. Not one. Ask them, ask Sharma for the last 20 years what he has done for Fyzabad. I got the record, I can't find a thing. I can't find a single thing he has done. I checked his ministry last month, but I think it was transport. Nothing. Local government, nothing. He was a parliament secretary, nothing. I know people telling me that he's bad, but boy, who we go put? But tell us something. If you can't do it, put a stone. Put a stone. Because I tell you something, the stone and Sharma will give you the same result.
The stone might do better.
Are you sure? The stone will do better. So therefore I'm telling you, these days, lighting and so on, and then Queen B will appear. Queen B will appear. And Queen B will tell you, of course, well, hold your hand, we shall rise. Hold your hand. But let me tell you something. If ever anybody tells you again, for just 2 months, we shall rise, you slap them. I'm serious. There's nothing like we shall rise on this government. Because there is something, Calco rise, SIS rise, Ramsey rise, Tia Jamna rise, but not you. Not you. A small cadre of contractors, they rise and we wait in this country. make unimaginable. And the same way we say that no contract shall be paid in the last 6 months, I tell you, all the boards in your homes and so on, we shall find them. All the money in India, we shall find them. All the money in Australia and Panama, we shall find it. All the lands they bound under their families' names and so on, we shall find it. So they could run from us.